Go play Clare next weekend, and that's tough on them because that's going to take a hell of a lot out of them today.
You have some wonderful young players out there tonight, like David O'Connor, who was sensational out there today.
Yes, and he played with a very badly damaged finger, and we had unbelievable injuries before the game. Larry O'Gorman has been carrying an injury. Larry Murphy, I mean, I'm not the kind of manager who would exaggerate. Of course, it seems now that we might have to play next Sunday. I don't know, can anything be done about that or not? The fixtures, the games administration say they're afraid of a clutter of fixtures later on. But if Wexford and Kilkenny had drawn today, I'm sure they'd have had some solution. And I don't think it serves hurling well that we haven't, you know, a fortnight to recover. That match was fixed. I don't know why it was refixed. Maybe someday somebody will tell me.
It was very tough all the way through, you know. Wexford really put it up to us, and you couldn't take a rest any minute at all. You know, we just had to keep fighting until we heard the whistle, you know. So I was delighted to hear it because it was tough out there, you know. So it was great to get over it and you know, beat them. So.
Well, indeed, there wasn't much in it all through, but Kilkenny seemed to be always that one step ahead of their opponents. I think the other counties in Leinster will have to steal the Bob O'Keefe Cup if they intend to see it during the year. Just briefly, gentlemen, not at all Gerlach now to take away from Kilkenny's win today, which was deserved, but the point that Tony Dempsey was making there, they have to go out now again next Sunday. Something slightly wrong with that system.
Very, very difficult to go out next Sunday. It's very, very soon. 6 days, 7 days to recover. They're going to be missing Liam Dunn because he was sent off. They had 3 or 4 other injuries come into the game today, so they have no time to recover whatsoever. The only thing is, they played really well today. Yeah. Their finish just let them down. Yeah. So, if he takes them in during the week and said, you were so close to beating Kilkenny, one of the best teams in the country, one of the favourites for the All-Ireland, just raise the game a notch after that, and Clare will find it very hard to beat you.
They will, and they look too, Pete Finnerty, at some of the wides that they have during today's game. In a game of a close finish, a few points in it, like every little thing counts, doesn't it?
Yeah, Kilkenny were there for the taking the day, really, but Wexford people are wondering what didn't we do to beat them, and this is really what they didn't do. They didn't finish the great opportunities that they created throughout the game. Here we see Furlong, he made a great run, went all the way, and then harmlessly hit the ball wide. That's a 70-yard clearance. We see here another opportunity. We're not picking on anyone in particular because everybody was guilty of it. Yeah. But Barry Lambert there, those are 2 balls that you have to put over the bar when you're playing Kilkenny in a Leinster final. And when Kilkenny have 4 or 5 players, quality players, not playing well, had to replace them. They didn't allow Kilkenny to score a goal, which is the big fear. But you have to take your chances. And with 10 minutes in the first half played, Wexford should have been 4 or 5 points ahead of Kilkenny at that stage, and had they been, they would have the confidence to go on and maybe even do what Waterford did last week, but they didn't. Their fringe players didn't play as well as Waterford's fringe players played last week. They relied too much on Paul Codd for all the scores.
Yeah, because the thing about it is, Ger, I mean, OK, we might talk about the fact that some of the Kilkenny players did well, but I mean, the first half, Brian McAvoy was scoring points for fun. And the second half, Henry Shefflin, we saw there, a couple of lovely little points on play, kind of just were the right scores at the right time for Kilkenny.
Well, one of the best players on the field today was Declan Root for Wexford, the centre back. He was absolutely fantastic. Cleaned everything here, he's here coming out. But Henry Shefflin was on him. You could say he was cleaned out of it, but he scored 2 points. Now, this is a lesson for every forward. He didn't run with any ball. Yeah. When he got it, he just bang, put it over the bar. Here's a pass from Stephen Graham, fast. And just where he's standing, one look, ball has gone over the bar. Now, that's the difference. Yeah. Wexford, when they got the ball, they ran with it, they were hooked, or they tried to hit it on the run. When he got his 2 chances, he put them over the bar. The other 2 balls he got in the game, he laid them off for 2 great points for Brian McAvoy. So you could say he had a very poor game. But he scored 2 points. Yeah. He made 2 others. That's 4 points. They won by 2 on a day that he was cleaned out.
That's not a bad poor game.
Exactly.
Another factor, of course, in this game was the sending off of Liam Dunn.
Well, I mean, the sending off of Liam Dunn was the factor of the game. 6 minutes left in the game. 1 point between the 2 teams, and Liam Dunn does something absolutely ridiculous here. Now, it's an awful pull. It's an awful pull from behind, and if it was a once-off for Liam, you'd say something. But this is one thing. He's a brilliant player, the nicest fellow you can meet off the field, but his career has been blighted by strokes like that. When he attacks the ball, he doesn't go to bat it. He flakes at it. Yeah. And unless he makes contact with the ball, he's going to hit somebody. And he has been sent off maybe 3 or 4 times in his career for that same tackle. It's inexcusable. And I suppose you could say it cost Wexford the game today. There was a point from the free afterwards that put him 2 points ahead. But for Liam himself, it's absolutely terrible. He'll miss the next day. He could miss the whole season. and his career could be over, and it would be terrible for a brilliant player and a nice lad to end his career like that.
Well, now, in relation to our emails, we've also, gentlemen, received a large number of complaints concerning the amount of injury time that the referee, Joe Harrington from Cork, played at the end of the first half in this afternoon's Leinster Senior Hurling final. Well, now, we've done our own little bit of research on this, and we found that there was, in actual fact, some considerable additional time played at the end of that first half. Now, with less than a minute remaining, the assistant referee signals a minute of injury time to be played. However, an amazing 4 minutes later, the first half was still in progress. The referee finally blew for half-time 4 minutes and 25 seconds later, which you'll be able to see clearly on our match clock at the top left-hand corner of your screen. Now, it should also be pointed out, I think, Finnerty, that Kilkenny scored 2 points in that period of play and might have got another one.
May have got another one if Henry Shefflin tapped that over the bar, and that would be 3 points, and that's a huge difference. And sometimes the player looks out and he sees a board and it says 1 point, and he says, in a minute I'm in the dressing room. And psychologically you just switch off a little bit and you're not as focused as you have been all day. It's at the referee's discretion, of course. It'd be interesting to go back through the tape and see what injury time there was allowed and things like that. But it did have an effect on the game, because at the end of the day, Kilkenny only won by 2 points.
Yeah, OK. Well, next here on the Sunday game, we're going to come to our man of the match selection from that game. Owen Hickey or Brian McAvoy from Kilkenny. However, it was you that voted, and this is the way that the voting went. Paul Codd and Henry Shefflin were the two who got most of the votes, and then when it came down to a choice of one, well, this player ended up out in front. Paul Codd of Wexford. Well, in truth, there really wasn't much argument about it this afternoon. His displays from frees alone was an exhibition, and if Wexford... But is everything all right with the state of hurling? Well...